What is up, people? My name is Dinesh Sani and today we are reacting to VFX artists react to Avengers Endgame bad and great CGI. Now they have already done bad and great CGI react to like Marvel stuff, like Marvel all combined. They had like Black Panther, Winter Soldier and Infinity War, I guess. They did a reaction on that and explained how they all do it. So I'm way too excited. The third guy which in between, I'm guessing right now is probably the guy who worked on Avengers Endgame. Maybe a writer, somebody who's connected to Endgame. I guess so, because they always like try to find a guest who's connected to the video they are reacting to, so they can get like more info out of it. So without any further ado, we're gonna start. I'm way too excited. We're gonna jump into it. 1, 2, 3, go.
Wait, Howard the Duck is in this shot?
There.
Oh, what?
There are a couple of innovations in the way that we approach Thanos' face.
You said we. I told you guys you got connected to the video. Okay.
Will work.
That shockwave.
We had one version that was much bigger. Maybe you've discovered something that we didn't even intend to put in the movie.
I love that scene.
Hi, welcome back to another very special
I
episode.
love the scene where everybody got out. It was so beautiful. That's the all part I love about it. So it was just like, it looked beautiful, and I wanted to recreate a photo. When I like got back from the movie theater, the first thing I wanted to do was like recreate the same portal kind of photo for my Instagram. If you wanna check some of my art on my Instagram, you guys can check it out. It's called FreaKinApe right over here. So yeah, but I didn't make it because for some reason I stopped. I don't remember though. But yeah, I didn't make it, so we're gonna start again.
Episode of Visual Effects Artists React. Today we are joined by Matt Aitken. Now Matt is one of the visual effects supervisors at Weta, and it's an incredible honor to have him here on the show. He's worked on a ton of movies, everything from Avengers Endgame all the way back to Lord of the Rings. He was in our Lord of the Rings special.
I'm the guy scanning the cave with the really early laser scanner.
That's so cool. Tell us a little bit about what your role is. What does it mean to be a visual effects supervisor?
My role is that I'm kind of the contact point between the team at Weta Digital, producing the visual effects work on a given show, and the people at the studio. Like I work with the team at Marvel on the Avengers films. I'm providing, the finished visual effects shots to them to go into their movie.
So like when you go to the dentist and you have like the nurse that like works for a while on your teeth, and then the dentist comes in, just like touches everything briefly at the very end. Is that you basically?
Possibly.
So Endgame was actually nominated for an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects.
We're also nominated for the BAFTA, which is the British Academy of Film and Television Awards. So I get to fly to London, go to the BAFTAs, and then come back here next week for the Oscars.
Oh wow!
Who knew that a career in visual effects was so star-studded and
so jet-setty? Usually it's not.
Yeah, this is it.
One of the scenes that you guys were responsible for in Avengers Endgame was the climactic end battle scene.
Yeah, that was pretty much what we did. Our work started when Thanos turns up in the 8 ship and destroys the Avengers compound, and we go all the way through to Tony doing the snap and his ultimate demise.
Spoilers ahead. Some haven't seen this movie.
Wait till you see this next one.
Everybody dies. Dude.
Not everybody.
I think it worked.
This was a pretty shocking moment.
Yeah,
in the movie.
I know.
It's like, oh, okay.
It's like, and roll credits. That shockwave.
That giant explosion, we worked on that a lot because it had to look like it was going to create this huge crater, but at the same time, it couldn't look like it just blew them all to pieces.
Yeah.
So we had one version that was much bigger. They were like, yeah, that's great, but nobody could survive.
Yeah, exactly.
And is that all CG fire? Was that all dynamics and simulation?
Yep, yeah, for sure. We shared the shot with ILM, so at a certain point, here, it becomes an ILM shot. They did all this work here.
ILM?
We did all the
Okay.
outside stuff. You should
That's
talk to
another
them.
company.
I'm sure they'd love to come in as well.
And like, hey, I applied for an internship a while ago.
Why didn't you hire me?
I'm always impressed by the level of consistency between all the different effects houses delivering the same character in different scenes worked on by completely different people.
Yeah, the team at Marvel, they do a lot of work in terms of giving us each notes. We'll show a version of Thanos and they'll like aspects of it, and they'll take that shot and show it to DD, and we'll share geometry and we'll share textures. They're completely different assets.
So there are two completely different 3D models of Thanos that are brought up to the exact same level of quality, so you can't tell the difference between them.
Well, that's what we tried to achieve. I mean,
I'd say you succeeded. I didn't realize there were multiple different versions.
And now the ad came of condoms. That's what I wanted.
If you enjoyed the show and you want to keep watching, well, please consider subscribing so that it shows up in your subscription feed and you never miss an episode.
I thought by eliminating half of life, the other half would thrive.
So when you have a character like Thanos,
Yep.
who is completely digital, but obviously driven by a real actor, what are the main steps between him acting and what we finally see in the movie?
he'll be wearing a suit that's marked up, so we'll get his body performance from that, and we'll also dot up his face. He'll be wearing a head-mounted camera rig. They're filming the dots on his face as he performs. Often what we do is we'll do motion capture that is happening at the same time as live-action photography. So through infrared motion capture, we can capture the suit dots without polluting the light that the director of photography is creating on the set.
I feel like a lot of people misunderstand how motion capture works in movies. They just kind of assume that the motion is captured and then it's just applied to a 3D model and that's all you have to do. In reality,
That would be amazing if that was the case. Motion capture really plays to creating his movement, but the number of times that we have raw motion capture data going onto Thanos is 0. We need to clean it up, but we also need to just find Thanos in the motion capture performance. So some of these fight beats weren't actually Josh. A stuntman is performing the more dramatic movements, and we're motion capturing the stunty. But even then, he's still not going to move the same way as an 8-foot-tall, muscle-bound Thanos would move. So the fantastic animation supervisor at Weta, Sidney Combo, he would dial in what he would call the body mechanic of Thanos. So he's getting the weight and maybe slowing down the movement a little. That's something that we'll keyframe on top of the motion capture data as well.
That is a lot of work. That alone feels like a lot of work. And I feel like if they give it to me, I would probably take like, I don't know, like 10 years to do that. God damn, that's a lot.
When you're dealing with this much armor on a character, it can be really hard to animate all of it and have it move correctly and slide over itself without clipping.
Yeah.
So some people pointed out to us in this one shot of his glove, you can see his finger bits clipped through the threading a little bit.
I know we missed that.
oh no.
Is that
No,
so? That's
I
something
didn't
that
notice
just
that.
nobody happened to see it until it was out in theaters?
Yeah.
I wish we'd caught it at the time. It just goes to show there's always a little bit more that you could do. But yeah, no, we're doing a lot of work on the armor. You don't want to constrain what Josh is doing on set. You want him to be able to perform. And then you just have to make the armor work to that. So there's a lot of sleight of hand going on, bending of things that should be rigid. It comes back to that thing of craft, you know, bringing an artist's hands-on craft approach to sculpt that suit.
I'm gonna enjoy it. Very, very much.
Can we talk about Thanos' face for a moment?
Dude, the pores stretch.
Yes, they do. There are a couple of innovations in the way that we
It's not going to be a VFX artist react until or unless they talk about pose.
approach Thanos' facial work. Up until Infinity War, we would go straight from the facial motion capture of Josh to the performance of Thanos. But what we started doing on Infinity War was introducing this intermediary step, which we call the actor puppet. We've got the footage of Josh from the head-mounted cameras, we've got a digital Josh, and then we've got our digital Thanos. And we can see very clearly if it's deviating a little bit from what Josh was doing. And then it's actually a reasonably straightforward process to migrate the animation curves from one puppet to the next.
So what you're telling me is that there's a perfect digital double of Josh Brolin that you can drop into every Thanos shot in the movie.
Kind of a little bit like a Mission Impossible pull off the mask.
What's harder in your opinion, the mouth or the eyes?
I think people mainly look at the eyes. That's often a criticism of digital performance. If it's not working, that people say that the eyes look dead. So we have to get the eyes right. And we spend a lot of time lighting the eyes so that they have a nice highlight. So we'll put a special light in the scene, and it's a little small area light, but quite bright. Then the eyes will pick it up. It'll have a very subtle effect over the rest of him.
So green screen. You guys are using a lot of green screen in this, as well as rotoscoping.
Yeah.
How are you getting such perfect edges in your green screen?
I mean, they're good green screens. They're well lit and they're clean. And then we've got a lot of really highly advanced techniques. We're, doing parts of the hair differently. If we get something really gnarly, so you might have to.
When he say we are doing a really high something, whatever he said, how do you do it? Please explain. I want to do it.
To match move in a digital version of the actor and replace the plate hair with CG hair.
Wow. When her helmet comes off there, is that CG hair for a brief moment for the ponytail to flip?
I think that's just a warp, actually. And I think she might have flicked her head. That's the Howard the Duck shot.
Wait, Howard the Duck is in this shot?
Right.
Yeah.
There.
Oh, what?
17 frames of him, ladies and gentlemen. In one of the studio reviews, they were like, oh, wouldn't it be great to get Howard the Duck in the movie somewhere? So we had to migrate this asset. You know, they sent us the Howard the Duck Luma had done for Guardians 2. We gave him one of the Ravager guns. Just way too big for him.
I just noticed that each of those portals have like a different color scheme inside of it, and it represented the Infinity Gauntlet with the different colors.
Yeah, I never noticed that before. Because you've got Wakanda, you've got the blue of deep space. Maybe you've discovered something that we didn't even intend to put in the movie.
If you guys want to see us react to any specific movies or TV shows, please leave a comment in the description below. Let us know and we will take a look at it.
I don't think anyone's ever seen so many like heroes on screen at a single time.
True.
The filmmakers, they managed to balance all that stuff. So
Exactly. Like having this shot, having a lot of actors in a shot can be like confusing because you don't know what to show, which actor should show with the fight scene. But they did a wonderful, wonderful job showing everybody, having a screen time, and still managed to make it look so awesome.
So that it's personal. A lot of it is these little beats, where we get these character moments.
Yeah.
Changing hammers.
No, give me that.
You have the little one. And we get, the reunion of Tony and Spidey. That's the stuff that makes it successful. We're just really there supporting these fantastic character moments.
So out of this entire sequence that Weta worked on, what do you think was probably the most challenging single shot of the entire sequence?
There's a little shot called the Wanna.
What?
It was the most scary part of the cut for a long time for me, but now I can enjoy it.
The wonder. Oh, I love it.
So many layers of complexity, everything from clashing armies to digital doubles to animation to like real life meeting CG at the same time to explosions to giant monsters.
It was an awesome. We were screaming in the theater.
And it was one of the
that
last
time.
shots we finished. So we had a sub-team working on it. It had its own animation supervisor, its own animation team, who are building the elements of the shot, populating the scene. We're iterating the whole time, so as soon as there's anything that's even half decent, we'll pass that down the line to lighting. All that lighting work is going on at the same time as the animation work. What's really nice about this is that the characters are rimlit by the sun.
So you have to really coordinate where the light is. So do you work up like a master lighting position going into a lot of this stuff?
One thing we do, which is exactly what they do on set or on location, is don't worry about any sort of consistency to the position of the sun, the key light. So they'll always put that behind the character that they're filming. The thing I like to show people that really explains that is a scene from the very end of the first Independence Day movie.
The sun is always behind everybody.
Yeah, which you'd kind of have to do because if you were filming it from the other side, they would just be completely burnt out. Yeah. So you're exposing for the shadows. We try and adopt these principles because they're established cinematographic principles that work.
So I know for these scenes here, they actually film on a practical set, but do you end up having to replace any of the foreground elements?
Yeah, sometimes we do. There's a little bit of a set element behind these guys here, which we kept because it was appropriate. But we did this thing where we essentially lifted the actors off the set and put them in a predominantly CG environment.
No way.
What?
So that sounds like a lot of rotoscoping. So you basically cut out each character and none of the background is real, just the characters are real.
Exactly.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Obviously, Tony, his suit.
That is a lot of work.
So whenever we see him by himself, really the only thing we're keeping is his head anyway.
Yeah. The floating head.
And I
am Iron Man.
Iron Man.
And silence.
This was the last shot that we delivered on the show.
Oh wow.
And it was about 2 weeks before the premiere, so it was getting... It was coming down to the wire.
Down to the line there.
They had versions of the shot, but they kept wanting it to change a bit, so we were happy to keep working on it. The thing that was really important in the end was showing that Tony is suffering all this damage. It's ultimately it's going to kill him.
Yeah.
And so we had to know that he was making a huge sacrifice. But also it couldn't be so flashy that it distracted away from his performance. We had some of those arcs of energy crawling right up into his face more. And then it was like, you just looked at that, you didn't look at him.
Right, you really have to be with him in these moments.
You've got to be with him, exactly.
Wow. Now this scene
So I feel like you guys had a big creative challenge here with Iron Man dying, and that you need to show that the wounds are fatal, but you can't be so gory and grisly as to not make this a family film.
Exactly, and that was something we explored for a long time through concept art to start off with. And it's a little bit similar to the snap. We had to allow him to retain his dignity through this moment.
How much of this was makeup versus digital?
It's entirely digital.
So he has no makeup on him on set at all.
Exactly. And that was a really good decision that they made to do it that way, because if they had put prosthetics on him, essentially they would have been locked in to that look.
Yeah, you get more flexibility by doing it digitally, especially when you know you can achieve a photorealistic result.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of relies on that.
I read that most of the wounds are actually just two-dimensional tracks as opposed to full 3D.
Yeah, exactly. We match moved his head, but we found that his facial performance was so subtle that we could, just using like optical flow type techniques, warp the digital prosthetic onto the movement of his face. So we didn't have to try and match move his facial performance. The other thing was for us, we had to sit on this secret for 6 or 8 months.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, if this leaks, we are done.
Am I in trouble? A little.
We can keep a secret here. We've never had a leak, touch wood. We just have to get down and do it, and they were totally on board with us.
That's really nice.
It was a total surprise for audiences worldwide.
Yeah.
Can you speak about anything coming up down the pipeline at Weta?
Well, we're working on the Black Widow movie, which opens soon. We have an ongoing relationship with Marvel, and it's fantastic. The work that they get us engaged in is challenging and diverse, and they're great films. There's this great kind of like storytelling that's going on with the MCU that it's just really exciting to be part of.
Wow, well, that's been a crazy episode. They're getting all this information straight from the source.
Whenever we're sitting here on the couch, most of the time we're kind of just guessing.
Yeah.
So to actually hear a true professional say exactly how you achieve some of these incredible results is really cool to hear.
I mean, I've watched some of your stuff, and you guys are pretty onto it. So,
well, that's really good to hear. If you want to learn more about Weta, go check out their website. At wetafx.co.nz. There's articles on how some of these effects are done. Lots of great information. So, do not discount just going and checking out that website.
it's great to be here.
Oh, thank you, Matt. I really appreciate it. Oh, I thought you were a ghost. It really spooked me for a second there, because we're in here hunting ghosts for our next Corridor video. But in the meantime, Tiny Guns 2 just dropped on the Corridor YouTube channel. If you're not familiar with it, it's where we put all of our short films. So go check it out. And this time, you give us a reaction in the comments below. Go check.
We're gonna watch Tiny Guns. We have to watch Tiny Guns. But okay, guys, that was it. That was VFX artists react to Avengers Endgame bad and great CGI. Now I've already said this before. Sometimes they put the title bad and great, but they don't show the bad stuff. Like all I see was the great stuff, except the part it's not bad, but they talked about the part where you can see one of the finger of Thanos from over here going inside of the hand. So as a VFX artist, you can miss those kind of little spots because it's a giant movie. You have to animate the characters, you have to animate the background, the extras and everything. So having that little detail of this finger going inside of the hand could be overlooked sometimes. And yeah, they did, and people found out, I don't know who did, but that person got a lot of time on his hand. But yeah, that person find out that the little part of the finger is going inside the Thanos hand, so which is a mistake, but I'm okay with it because the storyline of the Endgame was amazing and they did a wonderful job. Even the VFX people did a wonderful job. We couldn't tell that all of the stuff, they had to rotoscope everybody out. Everybody, every single person. That's something very it feels like I might not do that kind of shit because I feel like that is a lot of time consuming, rotoscoping everybody. So yeah, what else did they talk about? They talked about the duck. Yeah, we knew about the duck. The duck was there for 17 frames. The portal scene was amazing. I love that scene. That's the most beautiful scene in the whole Endgame. And I wanted to recreate it, but I did not create it because I'm lazy. moving on. Yeah, if you wanna see some of my artwork, you can follow me on Instagram. Go check it out on Instagram. And yeah, that was it guys. That was VFX artist react to Avengers Endgame bad and great CGI. If you like this video, give this video a big thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel guys. I have like 35 subscribers right now. I need 100 subscribers. You could be one of them guys. Just go hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye, take care guys.